Welcome everybody to another week of AO scan and energy biofrequency healing. Just want to say that we're not medical professionals and we're not here giving medical advice. This is for educational purposes. And welcome to everybody who could make it today. And as people come in, hopefully anybody that sees the recording, here's the welcome. I'd like to reward people who are on time and start on time so we can get the most out of this hour that we spent together. Today I'd like to go over the SEFI. And a special thing in the SEFI that I think is very underutilized is we can copy things. We can copy anything that we have really into, whether we want to broadcast it into the air or put it into a sugar pill or put it into water or put it on a piece of jewelry. With the frequencies that are in SEFI, we can do that, but also, let's say we only had one pill left of an herb that is helping us, and we don't want to take that pill because we're waiting for other ones. We can actually take the frequency of that supplement and put it into water or a sugar pill or something and use it more than once. I wasn't using this myself. We went to a conference with Dr. Cowden, Dr. Weber was there, a few of our other doctors that are on the physicians medical team with Healing ALS. And Dr. Cowden was talking about a machine to copy the vials. We were doing a laser detox. That's what the theme of the conference was. And we bought a detox set with, I should have them right here. I do have one. So we have vials that are full of frequencies of things, and we can put them in front of an infrared light like this, just attach it to the light with an elastic. Well, we bought the vials and the kit was like $300, but he said, if we use them, they only get 50 uses. But if we copy them, we can get 2,500 uses. So we can, Dr. Cowden had said, get this machine. It's a $500 machine where we can copy from one to the other. Well, Dr. Weber uses the AO scan. So I asked him, does our copying in the AO scan work as well as that machine that Dr. Cowden said to get? And he said, yes, and even better. So we have that tool in our AO scan. Not only can we use it with vials, but we can use it with our supplements. And I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to share screen and we're going to, I usually have, I do have AO scan open. All right. So it might make me sign in again because I do think this is open from yesterday, but let's see what happens. Who's up here? Yeah, sorry, Angela. We're gonna put me up here. All right. All right, so when we go into the SEFI, we can erase anything by clicking on this, and this brings up this. So let's say we have homeopathic sugar pills that have something else on them already. We can put those on the screen and just press erase. That will erase anything in it. You can do that with your jewelry. You can do that with your water. And even in those vials, we're putting potato vodka in the vials. So you could erase it and put something else in. So if you wanted to do that, you do that right here. But then when we go into the SEFI and we press this imprint right here on the right-hand side. So these are two buttons I think that are very underutilized. So what we do with this one, this is the copying. So when you're on your device, this is going to be the bottom. So the one that's furthest away from us is where we're going to put any, furthest away from the top is where we're going to put anything that we want copied. So let's say I have, I'm just holding up my phone here. It's not the actual, but let's say we have a pill that we want to put here, and we put a glass of water on the other side. And then you would press this button, it's going to copy it from the bottom to the top. And this looks exactly like that machine that Dr. Cowden said that to buy, it's called the Genie. It does the exact same thing. And Dr. Weber is using it to make some frequencies himself that he has put together. And he said by muscle testing, it's working just as well, if not better than that Genie. So we could do that with just about anything. And right now I'm going to use it to copy those vials and send like a whole kit to another person. I still have to find a case to put it in. Let me show you our kit. So this is to use for laser detox. I'm not sure. So there's 84 vials in there. So I bought empty vials and I can just copy these one by one and make a whole nother kit. And then my kit doesn't lose its potency, because every time you put one of those vials in front of an infrared light or a laser, they can be used either way. Let me see if I can show you the laser part. So, and I can also share a link where you can get the vials. Like $50 for 250 of them. So it's not a lot of money for the vials, but I'll show you a couple of other things. So the laser detox with the vials. Sorry, Marion, I'm just going to mute you. So the laser detox with the vials can be used a couple of different ways. This is just a cheap laser. This one's the green one. You can see on my hand, it's just a green. So there's green, red, and purple, and they go different depths into the skin. I can get you those numbers too, but this is Dr. Cowden's tool that he, you can see how simple it is. Let me stop my share so we're a little bit bigger. Well, and I'll pin myself too. So, because I don't see, hang on just one second. All right, so you can see how simple this is. This is just a piece of PVC piping. I think that's what you call it. It's like, it's rubber. So it fits on the end of the laser. And then there's a tiny little hole in it, not too tiny. We want to be able to fit one of those vials in it. And I put my, just had my vial out. All right, I'll grab one of these. Ready? I'm out of breath. Whoop. All right. So the way Dr. Cowden did it is he just took that and then he made a little hole in it so we can stick the vial in it. And then when you laser, it's going to laser right through the vial and bring that energy onto yourself. I just don't want to, like, I haven't copied these yet, so I don't want to. Now the other way is this one. Now this is one 10 years ago, I took a laser detox class with Dr. Klinghardt. And this is his, I think he calls it the amplifier, or this one might be the super amplifier. I'm not quite sure, but so this is quite the same way. So you would take anything you put in any, see, it has just more holes. So you can take 4 vials this size and maybe a pill here, and you could put liquid in here, but it doesn't hold liquid very well. It is layered, and you just put whatever you want to detox there. Now I have Dr. Cowden's thing on here. They don't work together. But on his, you just put the laser in there, and then you tighten these down. And then anything that's in this is going to be put into the person. And I'm going to show you on with either of them, when you do this, you see behind me, well, let's get it right on that. See how there's a line? So if I stand back, I can do a whole person with this because it's going to be a wide line. If I do it on my hand, it's a very thin, small line. So it's not going to, but the further back I stand, I should be able to do a whole person. And when we were taking the class with Dr. Klinghardt, he said that he was working the way he perfected this in the very beginning. He was working with an organic farmer who was having trouble with pests in his field. And he took the pesticide and he put it in, he tried different ways to do it, but he put it in one of these, and then he was able to keep the pests away in the whole field. So if you stand far enough back, wherever that light is going, it's going to take care of, give the remedy to the entire area. So, you know, some of them, he said you can do like a whole block if you want to detox a whole block of people. So, and the lasers are not expensive either, you know, just a laser like this one. Dr. Klinghardt used to stand right on the stage and say, because he wasn't involved with the people who were vending at his place and selling things at his conferences. And he'd say, well, you can go back to that table back there and you can buy a laser like this for $50. You can go on Amazon and buy the same thing for $10. So you'd always be very honest that you, it's not rocket science. It's a laser. There are different, and let me look that up for you. Not sure if we have any questions yet, but I did just see the other day in my notes. Hopefully I can find it. And if I can't, I'll email it out. The depths of them. And actually, instead of flipping through my notes, Dr. Cowden had said the other day, you know, our hand is about an inch thick. So if we put a laser there and we don't see it on the other side, it's not going an inch. So if we do it on our pinky and I can just barely see that. So maybe that's like a half an inch, right? That it's penetrating a half an inch when it's doing that. So that's one way to find out. I have a red laser and a purple laser. I'm pretty sure the red goes more in depth, but as he has said many times, this one will go 3 inches. So our lasers are only going between a half an inch and an inch, but our infrared is going 3 inches deep. And this one here, if you do get this one, and this is another thing I can send out in an email, it's only $15. The plug is another maybe $5 or $6, and it doesn't come with a plug, so you have to order them both. But this only works if you do it in a dark room. If I were to plug it in right now and try and use it, it's going to look like it doesn't work. So if you buy it and it's not coming on, don't think you got a faulty one. You have to sit in a bathroom or someplace that's dark and do it in the dark, because what it's meant for is to take pictures in the dark. So there's a small black light right in the middle that senses light, and when it senses light, it doesn't come on. So I use that one in the dark. And really high tech, you just use an elastic band and put that vial on the front of it. So, and you can use it without any vial too. It's going to still penetrate with infrared light. But if we know what remedy we want to put on, we can just amplify that remedy. And like I said, we can make our remedies with the AO scan. So let's see if there's any questions.
I have a question on the Altera Hair Wand. I've heard people infusing something into the water with the wand.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are they doing that? That's interesting.
They put crystal or a ball in front of the water, and they wand through the substance, and then imprints it into the water.
So they put what in front of? They put
a crystal or a remedy or whatever, and they wand through the item in the water.
That's great. So I like doing wanded water and then imprinting with the AO scan. That's the order I do it. But yeah, if it works that way, That's good too.
I've heard of that is done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And who'd you hear that from, Don? Just so I can follow them.
I think it was Dr.
Was it,
Cole.
was
Oh,
it
man.
Becky or someone else?
I mean, John Derola
Okay,
or Renee McLaughlin.
okay,
I cannot remember,
okay,
but on YouTube.
great. I'm always learning something every day. And I love this group because we do get to share what we're all learning. So thanks, Don. I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to look into doing it that way. I'm still, still learning myself. And this was something I had to research this week in order to get it right, which way, because I wasn't remembering which way it copied. So I got that and pass that on to you. Um, so yeah, perfect. Lisa said, is it really necessary to do laser detox when we can just use the frequencies in the scanner? Or maybe the laser is used when there aren't any applicable frequencies that you would like to already use in the scanner. So what I really want to find out if we can do, and I'm researching into, Lisa, now, is when certain things come up in our scanner, can we put those into a vial and send them deeper with the infrared? That's where I'd like to get to. The copying, now the things that I have in those detox vials aren't things that are specifically in the scanner. Although we do have a pesticide and an herbicide detox, we don't have one that's specific to glyphosate. And right now we're looking into one that's specific for the spike protein in a vial, which we don't have in the AO scan, which I think both of those are really helpful. And I use SEFI every day. I was just talking to someone right before we started the recording who said they're not using SEFI a lot. I use it all the time. And my favorite way is to go into the homeopathic. And I'll just, while I say this, I'm just going to show it. So if we go into quantum homeopathics, we can do a search by symptom. So one thing that has been annoying to my husband, it doesn't wake me up, but I snore. So last night I did a continuous snoring, and right from here, you can do a continuous, you don't have to even make a custom playlist. So this is everything that can help snoring. So I figured I'd give it a try and do a continuous broadcast. And he said he thought it helped a lot. So we're going to continue to do that and see what we can do. But right from here, when I press continuous broadcast, and just mute this so I'm not hearing that because it's pretty loud, but it's going through each of these at a 10-second clip. So it's going to go through and then just cycle around, and mine was still running this morning. So without even making a playlist, I can do that from here. And you could do that with anything. We wanted to do sinus infections, anything that you can find by, and when it's here, if you can't search, click on the search. And then if it's still full, clear it so that you can go in there. And then when you're on the phone, that should bring up a keyboard, or from here, like I could just put in, let's put in inflammation. So when we put in inflammation, then we're going to have everything that comes up with inflammation, and you can just click on the one that is, so this would be pleuritis, this would be of the lungs. So if we had something going on with the lungs, we could do, we could run these right from here without even having to bring them over to a custom playlist. You could just do a 2-minute broadcast or a continuous one. And then the imprint would be if you wanted to put something on the screen and imprint it into water. hopefully that was pretty clear. And Lisa, that's a good question. I don't think you have to. So is it really necessary? Probably not. Is it something added? Yeah. And I always love to add a little bit more. So any other questions? Go ahead,
Has
Connie.
a detail, but where you just were, instead of scrolling through 100 things, how do you keep, I couldn't keep on the part that could type in my symptom. Can you
Yeah.
show us that?
So you're on the device, right?
Right,
So let me pull it up on my, because I don't have
and
my,
it gives you a search bar, but when you type, it goes to the, where you have to scroll to many symptoms.
I'm
Oh,
just
I
pull-
just figured it out.
You got it. You just, yeah, I was going to try it on the phone because it is a little bit different on the device than. So you just, did you just click on the,
On the magnifying glass,
okay.
and it
Yeah.
let me stay on the bar. Okay,
Okay, good. All right. Yeah.
things like that are why I don't get into it. I get frustrated.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad we're on together figuring it out. And yeah, so the magnifying glass is where it's at. And my husband's in the other room talking. I hope he stops soon. If he hears me.
Hi, how's it going?
All right, got all kinds of stuff going on, but yeah, so when we, so when we
Oh, you
click on the
did?
magnifying glass, yeah.
But type two,
then you
type
should be
two,
able to,
or type
if you-
one.
hang on just a second. Got all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh, right, yes.
Whoop, I muted you, Connie. That's not what I meant to do.
Oh, no, Sarah has type two. We type
All
one.
right, so working on this.
No, she basically eats, she just takes she checks
There
herself
we
every
go.
day, you know, every,
Mute. There we go. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. All right, Connie, did that answer your question? Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Carol, go ahead.
Yeah, just going back to Lisa's question there about the laser detox, I have to like I talked to Dr. Cowden a week and a half ago on the meeting that we had, the Q&A, and he was talking about, like, for my inguinal hernia surgery where they put mesh in, he wanted me to detox that, laser detox that, and I'm still waiting for the surgery office to give me the ingredients of the mesh and or give me a sample piece. Okay. So how would I go about, like using the scanner to kind of, instead of laser detox?
Yeah. So I would go right to this. Hang on a second. So go right to here. And that's what you're going to see is the two squares. And I would take that, if they can give you a piece of what it is, I would put it on the bottom square. And on the top square, I would have a vial with the potato vodka in it. And then just copy it into that and then use that as either in front of the infrared light, which would be the best way because that's going to go 3 inches deep. So that $20 light. Or with a laser detox, either one would work. I think the infrared would be better.
Yeah, like I have that. You're talking about, you talking about that infrared light that Dr. Cowden showed us that one time?
Right. Yeah, this one here.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it.
Good.
Woo.
Yeah. And you got the plug too.
Yeah, sure did.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Yeah.
I've used it quite a bit on my sinuses and stuff. But so I didn't get, which screen showed the two squares? I missed the first part of the meeting.
Okay. So I'm going to just back up. So when we go into SEFI, let me get it so we can see my screen again, because I always have trouble with that.
Yeah.
We'll go that way. I think we're there. So that is completely blank. I'm noticing that. Now. All right.
That's okay. If you just say it, I can follow. I mean, I
All
can
right.
follow.
So if you go into SEFI and at the very top, you see erase and imprint. You want to press imprint. And that's going to give you the screen with the 2 squares. Bottom square that we put something on, and the top square that we put the thing we want to copy it into. So that the top square is where you're going to put the vial. The bottom square is where you're going to put whatever you get for that mesh.
Right, okay. And so if I just get a list of ingredients, then that's not gonna work that same way then.
Yeah, if you get the list of ingredients, it's going to be a little bit tougher to put it into a vial.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try to get the mesh piece. I'll see if I can buy a chunk of it, if nothing else. So what did you say? I still, is that the same thing that he talked about weeks ago with that, you called it potato vodka?
Yeah.
So what are you doing with that? Are you making that?
Yep. So we don't make the potato vodka. Hang on a second. See if I can
Okay.
find where I put mine. So funny thing is, I just passed 2 years of sobriety and bought this the other day. So this
Oh, okay.
is Polish potato vodka. And what he says, and this one's Chopin, but any Polish potato vodka will do. And I believe this is one of the more expensive ones, but only because it's all I could find. And he says this is the one you can mostly find in any store. But he says the Polish don't put any pesticides in their vodka, and it's the only one he's found that is pesticide free. So if we're going to use a vodka, which is the best conductor of best holder of the frequencies, he said we need to use a Polish vodka. So that's the
Okay.
only reason. Now the vials, he gave us a link. It's either $40 or $50 for 250 of them. I will email that out later today. And then that's really all we need is, and we also need, that was another thing. Last week, I was wondering, how are we going to get this vodka in these tiny little vials? And he said a dropper. So, so we
Okay.
need a dropper, the vodka, and fill the vials. So that's what you need.
And then you're just shining the infrared light through the vial. And where do you shine it again? Like on your head somewhere? I can't even remember.
So when you
what he
do it,
said.
I would do it right where they did that surgery.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you just take the vial and you put it on the front with some kind of an elastic band. So this one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you don't have to, and then yeah, that's it. I would do it right on the spot.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. I will. Okay, that sounds great, actually. Yeah, awesome.
All right, good. All right, Marion, you did have your hand up. Did you put it down because your question is answered, or you can unmute if you want?
Right. I wanted to know, Heather, as far as the long-term SEFI, the long-term SEFI broadcast, can that could not penetrate a Faraday cage, could it?
No, if you're sleeping in a Faraday cage, it's probably
It won't.
not gonna, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, good. Okay,
yeah.
thanks so
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome. All right, Margot said, did you give the links in the chat? I could probably go find them. We're not, it doesn't seem like we've got a lot going on today. Let me see if I can put them in. I have not, Margot, so yeah, let me see if if I'm going to answer Lisa's question first. So why would a suggestion for herpes simplex detox, which is what the HS detox, have shown up as a frequency on my easy scan today when herpes has not shown up under toxicities viruses for me today, nor has it shown up in ages? Well, there must be something in that frequency that's called for. Could be something close to it. Could be some other kind of a virus that frequency will help you with. Maybe that frequency is underneath and just not showing up yet in it. I usually trust what shows up in my supplements in order enough that I always press imprint, no matter what's going on. Now, I'd be curious to know if you did it, and if you or if you just said, oh, that's probably off. But yeah, maybe it's something that's just underneath and it's trying to get ahead of it. I don't know. It's a good question. A lot of times they say that things are showing up in the inner voice reports, and I notice this too. Things will show up in the inner voice reports that are suggested causes, suggested imbalances, and they're not quite showing up out of balance completely in the vitals. It's just a little, maybe a little more sensitive. And we see that in the databases too. Like we'll see some things that show up in the databases and aren't quite out of balance in the vitals. It's just energy, and I don't know. There's no good explanation for it except for pay attention to, it's good that you are paying attention to what's out of balance, but I wouldn't give it too much analyzation. If it's a frequency that it says that I need, I usually take it. Hopefully that helps. All right, let me see if I can find some links, and if anybody has any more questions, feel free to. I know I have those ones from Amazon. At least we can get those on the, because I just bought them not too long ago.
Heather, I missed some of Calvin's the time when he talked about potato vodka, and what you're saying when you get it in the vials. What do you do with it after it's in the vials, and what is the purpose?
So with Dr. Cowden's detox, he's saying to put the potato vodka holds on to the frequencies longer. Now what he's doing is he's doing the Zyto. So the Zyto is very similar to the AO scan. It's what I used to use before I found the AO scan. So he's doing a scan, seeing what is out of balance or what toxicities we have. And then through the Zyto, he's putting those frequencies into the vial. We're using the AO scan. We can see what toxicities we have. We can put those frequencies into the vial. And then we can put that vial in front of the infrared light that I am about to put in the, and then we can shine that either on whatever we're having problems with. So if it's sinuses, he was showing this for the sinus detox. So we want to know what toxins are in there so we can get them out with the infrared light. But Carl has an issue where it may be the mesh from a hernia surgery. So if he can get that mesh and then put that into a potato vodka, then he can detox with that. So whatever it is for us, we can put that in. Now, I'll go one step further. Dr. Cowden, in our conference that we went to, said that we can take a little bit of our poop, a little bit of our saliva, and a little bit of our pee, and succuss that down and bring it down to a level, like dilute it, and then put that in the potato vodka. So that would give us a blueprint of us without any of these biofrequency machine, and then we can put that into us because it's what we already have in us. So that would detox us or desensitize us. Because I'll something I learned 10, 12 years ago from Dr. Klinghardt, he gave a study. There was an island of people that were all living to well over 160 years old. And at 160, they were looking like they were 60. They were looking very young at that age. So people went, of course, to study these people and say, what are they doing? And they brought all their diseases with them, of course, and the people don't live as long now. But when they were studying them, they were taking their blood and seeing, what do these people have that we don't? And what are they doing that we're not doing? And when they looked at their blood, they were full of C. diff. If most of us had the amount of C. diff that they had, we'd be dead. But these people were completely immune to it, and it wasn't harming them at all. They looked noticeably much better than most people. So C. diff isn't really the thing that is killing people. It's our bodies and our body's response to that. So if we can make our bodies respond better to the bugs that are in it, because our bodies are actually made up of 95 to 98% not, they're other things. There are other things that are running our bodies. They said, I remember Dr. Cowden saying this not too long ago, that they found a mummified body, probably 20,000 years old, and that they analyzed the stomach contents and the bacteria that was in that stomach of that mummified body, and there were over 50,000 varieties. The average person today has less than 500 varieties of bacteria in our stomach, and we should have more. They're making probiotics to add more, and they're doing fecal transplants to add more, because we've killed so many of the bacteria in our guts with antibiotics. But I jokingly said maybe we should take that mummified body and take the 50,000 that it had and give that to people. But there's things that we can do to make our bodies better, and so that's what we're trying to do with the laser detox. Is get our bodies used to it. This is the actual camera one. Now if I go back to that order, I should be able to find the plug, right? That would be view order details. Of course not. We'll go back to my orders. Plug. There it is. So we've got the little infrared camera. Now we've got the plug. Not yet, still copying. There's the plug. And then let's see if we can find these 250. Yeah, there they are. So these ones, so it's $45. That's why when I said it's either 40 or 50, I was wrong both times. It's $45 for 250 of them. But still a very good price for when you get 250. I was looking for, that's the best price I could find, and that's the one that Dr. Cowden had found for us. So I looked other places. Can't remember if there was something else. Oh, the laser. Let's see if I can find a laser. The lasers are pretty simple. They're I don't think I've bought one on Amazon. Let me look in my orders, because maybe the first one I bought, I think I did, maybe. And they seem to keep things for quite a long time. Yeah. Guess I didn't get it on Amazon. I'm not sure where I got it, but Dawn, go ahead.
How much magnesium do you recommend for day?
I think it's going to depend on the person. I know Dr. Cowden has had different recommendations, like rotate the kinds of magnesiums. I just bought some new organic Epsom salt so I can start doing foot baths. He said even if someone's not taking magnesium, they're probably short on it. But we were just talking last night about manganese, which one of the reversals took really high dosages of manganese. So that's another one. If we're looking at trace minerals, we should look at not just magnesium, but some of the other trace minerals too. So I think manganese is an important one, along with magnesium, but I do think that we should muscle test and individualize how much of anything we take.
All right.
And
Yeah,
I have all of my magnesiums put into the AO scan, so, you know, I'm taking it when it says to. I also look at my inner voice if magnesium comes up there. But last night while we were listening to this lady talk about trace minerals, I was looking back on some of my AO scans to see how many people were out on manganese, and it does seem to be a top one. So look at that one. If you're out of balance on it, I would say keep that one on the radar as much as
All right.
magnesium.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else? We're not too busy in the chat today. Oh, okay, wait, missed a few. So Lisa said, I run all suggested frequencies every day. I put them in a playlist. Perfect. That's awesome. And Leslie said, sorry, Lisa, that was for everyone. Oh, okay. Well, can you tell me, I'm new to the party, what in the world is potato vodka? So the Polish make vodka out of potatoes, and I don't drink, but bought this the other day. So this one is Chopin. So, and that's what we're gonna put in our vials for detoxing. This is just an advanced thing where we can use the frequencies in the AO scan to detox. And we were talking about taking that vial and just putting it in front of the infrared light with an elastic. So you can just elastic band it on here. So this is a $20 setup right here. These are another $45. The vodka was probably more expensive than all of that. No, I'm just kidding. It was like 30 bucks. You can probably find a cheaper one. It just has to be potato vodka from Poland. Does not have to be Chopin. So Lisa asked, do you think that someone can apply essential oils while standing in front of an infrared light panel and get similar results as the laser detox? As you see, I am trying to get around using the laser as I like to keep things simple. I think you could use, I mean, I'm not big into essential oils. So someone who knows them better and knows what they do would be able to say that. But you have the wand also. You could do essential oils with the wand. You could do, like, here's one that I love. This is comfrey oil. This is, they call it knit bone comfrey. And I've been using this on my shoulder, and I have my leg was a compound fracture 35 years ago. I had a compound fracture in my leg, always had pain in that leg, and I've been putting comfrey on that. And I'll tell you, it should be called Comfort, because it has really done a world of difference on my leg. So that's one. And you can take that and you can put that in deeper with the wand, or what were you saying? We're standing in front of infrared light panel. If you have an infrared light panel, yeah, you could do that for sure. Or with the essential oils. What I don't use a lot of essential oils, so but if it's something you know what each one does, put it where it's good, and yeah, make it go deeper with the infrared. If you've got the panel, use what you've got. Use the wand also. I know you've got that too, so either one would be good. Yeah. Yeah. And I understand what you mean by keep things simple. I have things that I sometimes forget what I have. So the remedy Zincum valerium keeps showing up as a suggestion for me lately, but I have not been able to run it because it doesn't appear in any of the lists of frequencies in the scanner. So it's showing up in your supplement suggestions, but it's not in the SEFI. I'm guessing that's what you're saying, and let's take a look. I'm just gonna pull up my I'm sure you've looked. So we're gonna look by homeopathic and we're gonna look Zincum. What was it? Some reason my chat has disappeared. All right, I'm gonna have to do that to get my chat back. Zincum valerianum. So we weren't there yet, so. Let's go back to here. So when we put in that, so let's try in cell salts. Nope, it's probably not a nosode. That's odd. I would say send that into Solex support. So support@solexllc.com. I'm sure you know that one, but for anybody that doesn't, Solex support is very good. solexllc.com and see what they have to say about that one. That's interesting that it comes up as a supplement suggestion, but it's not in the SEFI. Not really sure on that one, except to ask them. So Amy said, my husband AO flagged manganese often too. So that's a good one. So I'm glad I mentioned that, and I'm glad they mentioned it last night. And it was actually ALS focused on trace minerals, as manganese is one of the ones that is out of balance quite often. And at least one of the reversals used high dosage manganese to assist in that. And no one does just one thing. So yeah. So Marion, go ahead.
Yes, Heather, could you please tell me how many times can we use the detox vials that we have made? Can we use them multiple times, or is it just a one-time thing and we make a number of vials at one time?
So Dr. Cowden said each vial should be able to be used 50 times before it loses most of its effectiveness. So it's going to start at 50 at the strongest, and then as you use it, it's going to lose effectiveness. So the way he said to avoid that is make one vial, then make a copy. So then you've got that one vial, and that's what where our AO scan copying is really going to come in. So we make the one strong one, and then we make the copy, and then we detox with that one, and then we have the one strong one. Now you can make 50 copies with that one strong one. So
Good. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Dawn, did you have another question or comment?
Yeah. Now as far as imprinting easy, what's the easiest way to do the Hertzsprung test? I pulled up the instructions and they both seem hard.
I think the easiest way to do the Hertzsprung test is to get a Ziploc bag and a Swiffer. It should be an unscented Swiffer, but they will work with the scented ones if you can't find the unscented. And go around to 8 to 10 places in the house. I like to do the tops of pictures, the top of the refrigerator, and the tops of door jambs. Because if you're doing someplace like a table that you wipe off every day, you're not going to have a good history of the dust in the house. So you want to do places that don't get dusted too often. And then just
Now,
send that in with the chain of custody, and I will send you the sample one so that you have how, unless I don't think I've sent that to you yet.
no.
Okay. Yeah.
Now it's been, well, yesterday I found out there's a leak under the dishwasher. So should we, but there is an underground area that, so do we check in the kitchen more, or would it impact all air, yeah.
Yeah, the
Alright.
second one, yeah. Mold moves very quickly, so if it's in the kitchen, it's gonna be everywhere.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. Let me know how that goes, Dawn. Okay. All right, good. We got that one, Marianne. I'm up to where you just asked that. So when you detox with the vial, can you save it and use it again, or should you do a new one each time, meaning detox with the same exact ingredients? So I would make the one vial and then, like I said, make a copy of it, use that one for the detoxing. Then you have the original. Then you can make 50 more copies with that original. So KS, I can't use the AO scan or my cell phone devices if I only use eye gaze. Does the AO scan still work on the eye gaze? It will work on a computer. If I only use it. So Angela, is Angela here? I believe she's using it on her computer with eye gaze. So it can be used on the computer with eye gaze. So I'm gonna put my email in here, get in touch with me. And I will get you in touch with Angela because I believe she's using it with eye gaze. So, but I haven't asked her specifically.
Away we go. Yes.
Mel, did you have a question?
What's going on with
All right. Any brand and dosage of high manganese? So I don't. The one that we were looking at last night was, I believe, a very expensive form of manganese, and I'm not going to suggest it because it's not one that anyone with ALS has used. She's just starting to market it. I would say just try like a good respected brand of manganese, one without the magnesium stearate, all the things that we look for when we're looking for good supplements. Try not to have any extra ingredients in it. That's pretty much what I look for. Lisa said, I've packed my iTerracare wand deep in a drawer. But if you have given me an idea how to use it for deeper spot treatment, I'm going to apply magnesium oil on my calf muscles and then wand the area. Good. I don't know if you've ever tried the comfrey either. It's one that, you know, mine's not the same as yours, absolutely. But if I were to show you my leg, you can still see a hole where the bone popped out of my leg when my leg broke. So I've just had pain in that area for quite a few years, and the comfrey has helped. I don't know if you've ever had an injury, but I'm trying to think of what else would go to, I'm thinking through my Barbara O'Neill poultices, and the potato poultice is for skin, but ginger is for what she said, nerves and muscles. So that's another one if you wanted to try a poultice with a bit of grated ginger and send that down a little bit lower with the iTerracare one. That would be another idea, or even with the infrared panel that you have. Or even just trying the ginger poultice without that, because the poultices are pretty good too. So, all right. Any other questions? Oh my goodness. Somebody that wanted to be part of this meeting. All right.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Again, on the SEFI, if you do the 2-minute broadcast for something, is that as effective as imprinting water?
Yeah, it would be, yeah, you could do the same thing, either one. When you do the 2-minute, when it's simultaneous, it's actually going to be 2 minutes. When it's individual, it'll be 2 minutes per frequency.
Mhm.
So if you've got 15 frequencies in it, that's going to take half an hour. So just so you know, because I've had so many people say, I did the 2-minute broadcast, but it seemed to go a lot longer than 2 minutes. It will if it's individual. So yeah, either way. And when you do the imprint, if you put it into water and then sip slowly, then you can see. I've never really felt a huge difference when I'm doing it. I just do it every day. So whenever I get those suggestions, I always put them into my water and just do it and figure I got what I needed.
And why water? I always use a shot glass, just a small amount.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is what I imprint this is 32 ounces. So I'll do that one in the morning. Then again at noontime, I'll do my frequencies again and imprint my next 32 ounces. And then if I have a little bit more, I'll do it like I have a glass like this that I'll do. But I used to just do it by the glass, and then I was scanning more often to get a new one, but it's just better to just put it all into one. So I don't think it matters. Like, you're going to get the same amount of frequencies in a shot glass as you would in that 32 ounces. So I don't think, the way you're doing it's working.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so Marion, I'm gonna send you a message after, since you sent this as a direct message, and I don't
Thank
want.
you.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else with any questions? All right. All right, so we're gonna call it a day, and Lisa said, I just checked my easy scan report from earlier today and looked for manganese, and hardly any minerals were flagged. You're doing a good job, Lisa. That's a good thing. That means they're balanced. Nothing you're taking is putting anything else out of balance. And that is some good information there. It's good to know. All right. All right. See you guys next week. And if you have any questions,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Feel free to email me if you've got questions, and we can do one-on-one still. And love to see you all.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you. Bye.
welcome. All right.